The same thing happens with witnessing also. I know that the Sakshi Chaitanya doesn't depend on anything, but when it is explained that way, it can lead to confusion. Yeah, all that is settled. Once you mentioned, so that is what makes me a bit nervous, because I mentioned so many things. Always either regretting or pulling the hair after mentioning is over. And I quote also, Viprah Paschima Buddhayaha. So we first do and then sit and regret. So once you mention that you gave a talk to some doctor and you were saying that if the mind is completely balanced and healthy, nothing will be able to affect the body, that the body will not get sick, etc. It seems a bit against science. No, it's not against science. It is science. It is science. So generally, I don't say things against science. Either I say things not connected with science, because everything is not connected to science, or things that are favorable to science. But something against science I have said means I was completely ignorant about it. Therefore, when I am ignorant, I don't assume anything, and therefore I don't say. But being ignorant, I have said that should not have been said. So, what you have not written properly, it is not put properly. You have put something there, something you figured out what I said and you have put there. Generally, I don't say something against evidence-based science. I was talking with doctors about this body identification and all that. So, this I am putting aside. But in a general way I am answering. I talked with a doctor. He is a good friend of mine. So, I asked him, I was discussing with him. He is a urologist and he performs 2-3 surgeries every day. And then I asked him, 2 identical surgeries. Urology is a very limited area and the surgeries are very much similar to each other. More or less the same kind of surgery they will be doing, more or less. Therefore, for them the observation becomes easy. So, 2 same surgeries to 2 people, same age group and all that, similar kind of, very same kind of surgeries, but one suffers more, one suffers less because of body identification. Do you come across such situations? He said yes. We come across such situations all the time. Some people are so unspiritual, so worldly, so obsessed with the body welfare, they suffer the maximum for the same surgery when compared with people who are given to dispassion, who are more spiritual, not knowing much. Just they may not be able to articulate, but they know body is unreal, one day it becomes ashes, what is there, let it go through, and so let me go through this, it is not real, but to keep it going you have to go through it, and so let me submit to the will of the higher power. In any case, body has to become ashes. So that kind of an attitude the person has, he suffers much less. So that is something which is very interesting. That is science. What I am saying is science. There are articles on it. You will be surprised to know what kind of articles are published in medical journals. Like there is a thing called pathological compassion. Like the husband is a surgeon and his wife needs surgery, then he is not the right person to do the surgery, because he will be very compassionate to her, and that compassion is pathological in nature. This happens to many VIP patients, and so there are articles about it. And then there are articles, the surgeon or the physician, they give the treatment proves to be more harmful than you leave the person untreated. That is a phenomenon in modern medicine, in clinical medicine. Therefore, they publish the results I have seen many papers to that effect, and they prove without any doubt that this treatment has harmed the patient more than leaving the patient alone. That kind of situations would be there. Therefore, it is a very delicate thing it is. And then many of the surgeries and some of the treatments also that you give medicine, some of the treatments and many of the surgeries are judgment calls. They are not necessarily called for based on the data. The same data, one qualified surgeon goes for surgery, another qualified surgeon recommends no surgery for the same data. That's why it is a judgment call. You cannot find fault with any one of them. They are doing a good job. Both of them are doing a very scientific approach. Correctly they are coming to their conclusions. But how come they have opposite conclusions? Because the very nature of the subject is like that. I tell you, sometimes in this oncology, they get a sample, biopsy sample, they take months to determine whether it is benign or malignant. Because you cannot make a call. Some of the mammograms, they will be looking at it for days together and unable to give a call. A person's life is dependent upon this person's judgment, but he is unable to give a judgment. They are very cautious. In advanced societies, this is how it works. In Indian societies, the society is also more tolerant and enduring and all that. Therefore, the calls become less stressful. They make a call quickly, and then things happen. So it is all science. What I am saying is all science. That kind of doubt and unable to determine one way or the other, that is all science, part of science.
Regarding this body identification, we have the living example of Ramana Maharishi. When he had wounds or cancers, and he said, go ahead and do it. And it was not body identified.
Yeah, you are right.
Without
Anesthesia and all that, yeah. Therefore, all said and done, I only recommend, or I suggest, I submit, don't denigrate science in the name of Vedanta. Please don't do it. Science means knowledge. The word is like that. The word Veda in Sanskrit and science in English, having respective origins in Sanskrit and Greek or Latin, mean same, knowledge. So, therefore, we love knowledge. That is why we are here, and we dedicate our life to pursue knowledge. Therefore, denigrating science is not correct. And also it is necessary to update our knowledge. You cannot remain in the 4th century some silly thing. You have to update all the time. Shubham. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate.